Eldoria, land of drifting lanterns, silver rivers, and a soft, humming magic. A kingdom that glowed even in the darkest night. But peace, like light, can fade without warning. And on one fateful dawn, the first flicker of darkness began. Kael, a 16-year-old apprentice lantern keeper, hurried through the lantern district. Thousands of floating lanterns illuminated the winding streets, their soft glow a familiar comfort. Yet the one he carried was small and dim, its light slowly, stubbornly dying. Inside the workshop, his master, Orin, waited. Orin's face, etched with the lines of 1,000 sunrises, was stern. Late again, Kael. Even the lanterns rise before you. Kael's shoulders slumped. Sorry, master. I had trouble getting this one to light. Orin sighed, but his eyes softened. Lanterns don't light for hands that hesitate, boy. They need confidence. Even a single spark can sense doubt. The old man turned and opened a warm wooden chest. Kael leaned in, curious. Inside, nestled on a bed of faded velvet, lay a peculiar lantern. It was small, its frame crafted from an intricate, unknown metal, and it pulsed with a faint warmth, as if it were alive. Orin spoke in a low voice. This is the Heartflame Lantern. It chooses its bearer. It has slept for generations. Until tonight, he paused, his gaze fixed on Kael. It chose you. Kael stared, bewildered. Me? I'm barely an apprentice. I can't even keep a standard flame lit. Light doesn't choose the skilled, Orin replied, his voice a quiet rumble. It chooses the necessary. The next morning at sunrise, a wave of panic swept through Eldoria. The sun rose, but it was a pale, thin imitation of its usual glory, as though it were half asleep. The city's thousands of lanterns flickered nervously, their lights faltering. The silver rivers slowed to a sluggish, murky crawl. Magic itself seemed to weaken. In the grand palace, Queen Cerise summoned her most trusted scholars. Her voice, usually calm and measured, was sharp with urgency. Speak plainly. What threatens Eldoria? An elderly scholar, his hands trembling, stepped forward. Your Majesty, the ancient legends spoke of a force Umbra, a shadow older than magic itself. It stirs again, another scholar added, his voice thin with fear, and only one artifact can resist it, the Heartflame Lantern. At that very moment, all across the kingdom, every lantern in Eldoria dimmed. The vibrant city was plunged into a twilight gloom, all except one Kael now carried. Soldiers, their armor clanking on the cobblestones, rushed through the streets. One stopped abruptly before Kael. You! Boy, the queen summons you. Kael, trembling, entered the grand throne hall. The vast chamber was filled with anxious nobles and worried advisors, but all he could see was the queen on her throne, her face a mask of regal concern. His lantern, clutched in his sweaty palm, seemed to glow brighter with each step he took toward her. Apprentice Kael, Queen Cerise said, her eyes fixed on the light. The light answers to you. Kael swallowed hard. I never asked it to. A faint, sad smile touched the queen's lips. Many heroes never ask for their calling. But Umbra rises. Our kingdom fades. Will you go to the Vale and confront the darkness? The weight of her words felt heavier than the entire palace. I don't know if I can. Courage is not certainty, she replied, her voice firm yet kind. It is the refusal to step back. Looking at the steady, unwavering flame of the Heartflame Lantern, Kael felt a small, fragile seed of resolve take root in his heart. With a reluctant breath, he agreed. Kael departed alone, his small figure a stark contrast to the monumental task ahead. His destination was the Vale, the shadowed, ancient forest that marked the very edge of Eldoria. As he stepped under its canopy, the air grew cold. A voice echoed from the shadows, distant yet intimate, as if speaking directly inside his mind. Little lightbearer, Why walk willingly into the dark? Kael clutched the lantern. Its warmth his only shield. You won't take my kingdom. The voice, Umbra's voice, chuckled a sound like grinding stone. Your kingdom forgot you. Your master doubts you. Even you doubt yourself. Kael's steps faltered. Umbra's words were poison, seeping into his thoughts like cold water, finding every crack in his confidence. He remembered his fumbled attempts in the workshop, his master's stern corrections, his own constant fear of failure. He sank to his knees, the darkness pressing in from all sides, suffocating him. The heart flame lantern flickered nervously, its light weakening. In the oppressive silence, a memory emerged, clear and strong Orin's voice, not stern this time, but steady and sure. Light isn't something you hold, Kael. It is something you decide to be. The words echoed in his soul. It wasn't about being skilled. It was about being necessary. It was a choice. Kael gripped the lantern, his knuckles white, and pushed himself back to his feet. He looked into the deep shadows and spoke, his voice no longer trembling. I choose the light. As if his words were a challenge, a wave of black mist surged forward, coiling and twisting into a monstrous storm of shadow. Then burn, Umbra hissed. The darkness erupted, forming a towering, swirling vortex of pure shadow. It was ancient, vast, and terrifying. But Kael did not retreat. He raised the heart flame lantern high. In response to his resolve, it burst into a brilliant, blinding radiance, a wave of warmth and power that pushed the oppressive cold back. He stepped forward, a single point of light clashing with an ocean of shadow. Umbra screamed an ancient, hollow sound filled with rage and disbelief. You are small, weak, an apprentice. Kael's voice rang out, filled with a strength he never knew he possessed. But even the smallest flame can end the deepest night. He pushed forward, pouring all of his hope, his courage, and his will into the light. The lantern's glow swelled, becoming a miniature sun. The forest shook, and the very air vibrated with power. Umbra, the ancient shadow, fractured under the onslaught of pure light. It crumbled, broke apart, and finally dissolved into nothing more than drifting, harmless dust. Silence fell, profound and complete. Then, a single golden ray of sunlight pierced through the trees. It was followed by another, and another, until the entire forest was bathed in warm, living light. Far away, Kael could almost hear the silver rivers quickening their pace. He knew that across Eldoria, the lanterns were reigniting with vibrant, joyful color. Exhausted but whole, Kael turned and began the long walk back toward his kingdom. As he approached the city gates, a sound grew to a roar. The city had erupted in cheers. People lined the streets, their faces alight with joy and relief. Kael! Kael, the lightbearer! Queen Cerise met him at the palace steps, her usual composure replaced by a radiant smile. You restored our dawn. Eldoria stands because of your courage. Kael looked down at the lantern, now glowing with a calm, steady light. I only carried the lantern. The queen placed a hand on his shoulder. And when it mattered most, you carried us all. Kael became the youngest Grand Lantern Keeper in Eldoria's history. Under his guidance, no lantern ever dimmed again, without someone there to listen, to care for its flame. And every year, on the anniversary of the restored dawn, a festival of lights filled the Kingdom of Beautiful, glowing reminder to all that even the faintest spark, in the hands of the brave, can chase away the darkest shadow. And so ends the tale of the last light of Eldoria, the story of an apprentice who chose to shine. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.